everybody, welcome back. It is me, cyberwarrior. And you know what it is, Tech Tuesday. Now, before we begin, because it is an episode where I am going to go over something I really haven't done before, and that is gear. So we're going to discuss the Rubber Ducky by Hak5 for a little bit. So, before we do that, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, make your comments below as we go through or near the end, and let's get moving. So, like I said, it's the USB Rubber Ducky. What is it? Well, a lot of people may have heard of Hak5. Hak5 is an awesome company. Puts out things like the Rubber Ducky, the Pineapple, the Shark Jack, I believe it's called. Keezy, which I'm really eyeing up and I want to get my hands on. Although, I don't know if I have an RFID card I can use it against. But either way, be that as it may. It'll be really fun if I can find it. Or find a use for it. Among other things. The list goes on. Bash Bunny. So there's a slew of items Hak5 offers to aid in your red teaming, pen testing, and things of that nature. I got my hands on a Rubber Ducky and a Pineapple. We're not going to go over to Pineapple today. I'll probably play with that a little bit later on once I get some time to really, figure out everything about it. But the Rubber Ducky, what it is it looks like an innocuous USB device, but it acts as a HID device. Now, if you don't know what HID means, it's a human interface device. In this case, it acts as a keyboard. So, you can really use it on just about any operating system. It doesn't matter what it is. What I'm going to do is use it against Windows, because it has keys in there that, if you recognize Windows keys and what they do, whether it be the actual Windows logo key, in this case called GUI or Windows, when you recognize what they do and you tell it to do certain things, you can really make this work and be very powerful. Now, when Darren Kitchen went through his video, he showed you how to use how it works to open up Hello World. Now, he may have changed that since then, but when I saw it a few months back or even a few years ago, Rubber Ducky's been out for a little while, that's what he did. What I'm going to do is I downloaded a GitHub script from the Rubber Ducky GitHub that would download a netcat shell or the netcat program and run a reverse shell. The way it was designed wasn't really working for me, so I made some modifications, but I will have the links to that GitHub page, to the USB Rubber Ducky page, as well as a few other things that I'm going to show you. So, before we get started, let us take a look at some fun stuff. And what we have here, and we're going to go over here, is the Ducky script Rubber Ducky language. Alright, actually, before we get into the language, let me transition back real quick. We're going to do this. Here's a Rubber Ducky, if you haven't seen it yet. That is legitimately just a chip and USB with a memory card on it, micro SD slot. Now, on top of that, when you order these, you get a fun little case that whole thing can go in, or you get something like this, which, if you've ever seen a Wi-Fi Nano, it kind of looks like one of those adapters, but it's just a little mini USB drive that you can plug the memory card into, and then you can either use the big one or the little one to plug it into an extension, which then has USB Type B, I believe it's called. Forget that little, or a micro USB port to plug it into some of your older Android phones. Even some of your newer ones still have them, but they're phasing out. So you get that as well. So that is a Rubber Ducky, and they're pretty awesome. So that's the physical portion. Let's get back into this. So apologies for the flip on the screen, but I need to show you what it came with. So this here is the Rubber Ducky scripting language, the language designed by Hak5 to go through and do all these commands with their device. Remark is just a comment. GUI R is that little Windows key in R, which brings up your run. String is anytime you want to type in a string. Enter is, well, enter. You can go through here, and there's a bunch of other commands that you can do, how to do delays, how to go through and how to do the Alt key, escape keys, all that fun jazz. And then this is how you write your first script. I did not use Well, correction. I used this script initially just to make sure it was working properly. Ever since I've been using this netcat script, I have issues off and on. So if I have an issue, you're going to see me kind of stop, pull the drive out, and go back in. Because it can be, I don't know if it's my virtual box that I'm using it on. I don't know if it would work better on a regular, bare metal computer. But I tend to have issues off and on with it. So I am going to show you this. And again, it does work. I know I did it right before I started recording this video. But I also know I've had issues in the past. So bear with me. It may take a few tries, but we'll get it to work. This here is the Ducky Encoder. Now, you go here. You can actually download. Is it? No, that's the order page. That'll be in the links too. But there is a link right. JS Ducky Encoder. So you can download this. It's an HTML page. That's what we're going to go to. Or you can download the Java-based command line encoder. I just prefer the GUI so I can see what I'm doing and make changes on the fly instead of modifying multiple files. Even though you can do that as well. So here, if you were to change this, all right, so I can go here, do that, generate payload, and download the payload and the Ducky script. And what that does is it gives you a copy of what you have here, as well as the payload, which is in an inject.bin file. So if you're wondering what that is, we can download the payload, save file. And if I go to my downloads, oops, I never got rid of the other one. So you can see them both right here. It's probably a little bit small on your screen, but that's what it is, an inject.bin, and you put it right on the memory card. So since I already have this, we're going to kind of skip the step of copying and pasting it all over. And we're going to pull up, because what this does, as you can see, I have my Python server running and I have my netcat listener. Because what the code is designed to do is download netcat.exe from a attacking machine and put it on the victim. And then it's going to end up executing that netcat and calling back to your host machine, to your attacker. And then what we have here is just Windows Flare. So it's a debugging operating system by FireEye. I use it a lot. It's generally what I use when I need to play around with the Windows operating system. But I'm using it now so that we can give this a shot. So let's see how well this decides to work out for me right now. Like I said, I had it working. Bear with me. So we'll plug this bad boy in. Let us see. Maybe. What do you know? Looks like he's gonna work the first shot. Now you wanna see a little something? I hope you were paying attention to that side screen, because I now have access to that machine. So, and there we go. We're on a Windows file system. So the netcat reverse shell immediately started working. But as you can see, this is what I was talking about when you're looking at making changes and doing different things to that Ducky script. So this little *Z that's up here is a Control Z. So it's supposed to, if you're used to Linux or Windows, it backgrounds processes. So what I could potentially do here is hit Control Z again. Come on. Doesn't want to work right now. No, I don't want to terminate the job. There we go. And I should still be connected. Who am I? No? Am I not connected? Did it terminate? Alright. Either way. So, did I clear that out? Yeah. So, it goes through and it typed all those commands in. And, like I said, bear with me. Control Z is supposed to background the process. It didn't do it for some reason. But that's okay. When you're looking at things like this, understand that if you're using it for pen testing, red teaming, and you're trying to do some social engineering, you don't want this screen to show. And we're not going to go through and look at how to hide it. You can do that research on your own. Some of the Ducky scripts actually show it to you. Some of the resources and communities will talk to you about it. But this is just an example of how you saw it type everything in. And you have to put your delays in there and things of that nature, because if you don't, then it'll hit buttons before maybe the UAC pops up or something along those lines. So again, be aware of what's going on. Be aware of what you're doing. Do not use this for nefarious purposes. I shouldn't have to say that. Hak5 tells you they're for pen testing and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, they are valuable resources to use. So now you don't have to go out there and create your own. Now, if you want to, by all means, this is just one form of a rubber ducky. You can have, many people have made their own and dropped them all over the place when they're doing a pen test. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get an understanding of what the rubber ducky does. Like I said, I wasn't really here to teach you how to write scripts. It is just an explanation of what the rubber ducky does. And it acts as a hid device that types keyboard commands in. So, this is CyberWarrior. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of me, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Well, I probably should switch hands. Hit the alarm bell. Leave your comments below. And make sure you check out my merchandise store, cyberwarriorstudios.com. Please consider becoming a patron on Patreon, patreon.com/cyberwarriorstudios. All these links will be down below, as well as a lot of the Hak5 links that I went through today. So, until next time, take it easy.